So today was a fun day. If you see the tweet right in front of us, it says Gina doesn't count, and it's a picture of Darth Vader implying Star Wars, which if you take Gina and you take Star Wars and you look at the fact that G4 has constantly been disrespectful to anyone that fans try to rally around, the common name that comes to mind is Gina Carano. Now, this was made 3 days ago, and we've seen the mainstream take shots at Gina Carano. Plus, she's very relevant in the news right now with Terror on the Prairie releasing through the Daily Wire, and she's been doing a lot of interviews. She was on with Ben Shapiro, obviously from the Daily Wire. So thinking about how she's been in the news cycle and the Star Wars connection, if you're not in touch with everything G4 is doing, including their inside jokes, the obvious name to think about is Gina Carano. But this tweet was made 3 days ago. And thanks to Geeks and Gamers' very own Drunk 3PO and Ryan Kennel, they started to retweet this to defend the great Gina Carano. But I only saw them tweet these out, but I didn't see the fact that they both deleted their tweets nearly immediately because they realized this tweet is not about Gina Carano. It's about someone that works at G4 named Gina Darling, but I didn't see that. So I went ahead and I retweeted it. And then I found out, hey, this isn't actually about Gina Carano. But it was too late. But I wasn't going to delete my tweets. In fact, I had already attempted to ratio G4 with this image right here of me and Gina Carano, and it did, in fact, ratio them to hell and back. Now, I had already realized that I had made the mistake, but I'm going to get dragged for my mistake because it was too late for me to delete it and remove anything. And so I'm just willing to sit there and double down because FG4 and F Frost, as I said many times on Twitter. But as things continued to happen on Twitter, something cool actually happened through all of this. Gina Darling actually responded to me. Now, I responded with sarcasm, as I always do, and I basically told her to become more relevant in the future. That way I would know who she is. But she kept handling my sarcasm. And that's something very rare from people that are connected to places like G4. Whenever I'm sarcastic, they can't handle it. They can't roll with it. They just run and hide, block me, and cry in a corner. But Gina Darling, someone that I was not even aware of, she kept responding, but she was responding in a relatively classy kind of way. She was showing not a lot of disrespect, but she was obviously rolling with the punches. And I kind of appreciated that. So it created, a back and forth with she and I, and we became pretty friendly on social media. And it was actually pretty cool. And so I gave her a follow. She followed me back. And yeah, she's really cool. And that doesn't change my opinion of G4. It doesn't change my opinion of Frost. In fact, in some of our interactions that were leading up to us kind of, building that bridge, I continued to say, hey, you seem pretty cool. Frost is garbage because Frost is garbage. And most people at G4 are garbage. And I know she's probably going to get a lot of flack for following me and interacting with me because the people that run G4 are trash. And that's not going to change anytime soon. And this doesn't change my perception of G4 and the people that run G4, but it does make me appreciate her as an individual. And it's not necessarily fair to judge her based on the actions of others when she has shown that she seems to be her own person. And I appreciate the interaction that we had. And again, I think she's going to get a lot of flack for following me. People at G4 don't like me, and a lot of people on social media are going to spam her comments and whine and cry because she's following the toxic man, Geeks and Gamers, Jeremy. He's racist, he's sexist, he's misogynist. You know how the NPC talking points go, but I'm not really worried about that. In fact, I ask you to continue to call me those names because those names mean absolutely nothing to me whatsoever. But it was a cool interaction, and I have to give respect where respect is due. I clearly made the mistake of assuming that it was about Gina, and I think it was an understandable mistake considering how mainstream outlets have treated Gina Carano. But it definitely was a mistake on my part. I should have done more research, but through it all, I think something kind of cool happened, and I think a lot of people probably saw that and appreciated it because you don't see people that are on polar opposite sides of any situation really able to find common ground like that. And credit to her because she's the one that could have easily blocked me and called me all of the names that, normally get associated with me. But she didn't. She rolled with the punches. And ultimately, I have respect for her. So it was really fun, a good interaction. I do blame Drunk 3PO 100% because it's usually his fault. And I'm going to continue to blame him for this. And but I have to take some responsibility because I should have looked a little more into it before I pulled the trigger. But that's what Twitter is all about. Twitter encourages fighting. Twitter encourages these types of discussions. It's what it's built for. So it's kind of par for the course. But I was pretty happy with it overall. Usually Twitter is a shitstorm. But today it actually had something that I guess people can look at and go, that was a wholesome situation and it ended in a nice way. That's not going to happen very often, and it's definitely not going to happen much with G4 people. But Gina Darling seems to be an individual, someone that I respect based on this and this alone, but also some more conversations with her. And I don't think anything will come of this. I don't think you're going to see any collaborations in terms of her coming on Geeks and Gamers because, like I said, as soon as the higher ups there see that she's interacting with me, they're probably not going to be happy. And I will never go on G4 as long as they have the ownership and the leadership that they have. They can go fuck themselves. I have no interest whatsoever. That will never happen as long as someone like Frost is there telling fans that they're racist and sexist. That just won't happen. And I do remember Frost saying how much she doesn't want a Trump supporter supporting her. So I would never dare step foot anywhere near G4. You guys have a great day. Thank you very much for checking out this video. I appreciate that. I appreciate all of you. It's been a fantastic week here in Dallas, and we've got so much to talk about, so many opportunities after the panel we had, after all the interactions, the people that we met, the premiere for Terror on the Prairie. It's just been amazing, and it's almost hard to comprehend, but the only reason we're able to do any of this is because of all of you, and we greatly appreciate it. Have a great day, and we will talk to you later.